What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Rewind Theater for Twisted Metal. I'm Greg Miller, alongside Anthony Gallegos.
Hello and welcome.
How are you, Anthony?
I'm doing great.
Anthony, you played the Twisted Metal games back in the day. I've seen the new Twisted Metal game and I'm very excited for it. We're bringing our combined knowledge together to set the scene for what exactly is happening, but we're already ahead of ourselves. Jump to the 15-second mark, and here is the man known as Calypso, who says, "Their emptiness makes me whole." Tell me about Calypso in the first game.
Calypso
or the old game.
is the guy behind the whole Twisted Metal competition.
He set it up.
The whole idea is that he stole his powers from a demon.
Of course.
And then now with the Twisted Metal competition, anybody who wins gets a wish granted. But historically, in all the other Twisted Metal games, he would grant you your wish.
Oh, he's backfired though, right?
But it was always, in his own twisted way. Like, you could wish for a new life, and his new life, he might make you paraplegic or something like that.
Bastard. I like the red eyes though. It's telling me probably still the same, probably the same setup, right?
He's not a good man.
He's not a good guy. Probably has the powers of a demon. Everything else. But if you jump to the 1:28 mark, 1 minute, 28 seconds, we see Calypso Industries, this tower over here, telling me it might not be as cloak and dagger as before, right? He might not be this demon in the background stabbing people. Maybe he has, some kind of, maybe he's like the AOL Time Warmer of
I was
our
going to
time.
say, it could even be that he's less demonic now, and he just is willing to grant people their wishes through his industry. But that might be through something horrible, maybe genetic manipulation, who knows?
Whoa. All right, well, now you're getting ahead of yourself, but because you're playing 3 stories in Twisted Metal this time. There's a whole bunch of characters to play in multiplayer, but when you go into story mode, you have 3 choices to go to. If we jump to the 10-second mark, we see this fat dude with his family, right? Who could he possibly be? Well, you go a little bit further, he's going to become Sweet Tooth. This man probably there, Needles Kane, the real name of Sweet Tooth before he puts on this mask, becomes the de facto Twisted Metal spokesperson.
Yes, he is the icon.
Yeah. If anybody wants to argue the fact that this isn't Sweet Tooth, maybe that wasn't Needles Kane. If you jump to the 14-second mark, fat dude with a distant look in his eye that I know so well. Over his heart has the Sweet Tooth ice cream thing there. And then if you jump to the 102 mark, we see Sweet Tooth moving up on this woman in a broken old house. David Jaffe has said in the past that Sweet Tooth's story is all about him catching up to the one that got away. I'm wondering if the woman he's grabbing here could possibly be the one who got away. Also, if you notice, polka dot on his left knee there. Jump back to when he's in the family way photo. There it is, polka dots on him.
I doubt it's his wife either, because his wife here looks like she has red hair. And
well, if you dial back a little bit further.
And the girl in the other picture.
Well, see, you're jumping to see who's taking the photo. The wife. Also looks like she has red hair though. You're right, yeah. But then you got all these these ragamuffins on the floor. Probably, I would go crazy too. I'm driving an ice cream truck. I don't have that much money, but we have all these fancy wallpapers. Get out of here. You damn kids eating up all my food. Jump to the 18-second mark, we get to see the next character in the story mode. This is going to be the woman who becomes Dollface. She's beautiful right now, Anthony. And all the girls watching, don't be like this. She got a couple scars on her face. Big deal.
Own them.
I would still take you home.
I think it's badass.
First off, you're growing pink hair. That's awesome. All right, anyways, look. Oh, that's what she sees, though. She's got beans in her teeth. Some kind of weird anchovy thing coming out. Oh my God. That's what she sees when she looks in the mirror. That's not what she looks like. But if you let it play a little bit, she gets pretty pissed about it and kills the doctor, we would assume, over it, right? So now the original Dollface, she wore this mask because a mask maker she worked for, she knocked some coffee over and he nailed a mask to her face, which is mean. But it looks like here she's just got a real self-image problem, right? We go a little bit further to the 51-second mark. We'll see Dollface in her full outfit. You see she's now covering up her face. She doesn't want to be. She looks much worse now. She looks like she's packed down some pounds here, and I don't think she really has. I think it's just that she's
mostly
wearing.
The mask.
It's a chubby mask and not an attractive suit with the giant shoulder pads. These are the things David Jaffe overlooked, I guess. But if you look in the back here, we have this doctor on premises thing. You see she's still obsessed over her beauty, and then up there in the back, a beautiful woman on a billboard. According to Jaffe, she used to be a model obsessed with beauty. So clearly, these are why the scars screwed her up so much, I guess. As somebody who never had to deal with that, I don't know. I love the way I look, Anthony. Jump to the 23-second mark. Another character. This would be the boy who becomes Mr. Grimm. Look at how happy he is here. Let it play. The dad's like, I want to touch you. Oh my God, Dad! Why did you try to rub my head instead of watching the goddamn road? You deserve to die. But of course, Mr. Grimm can't take this. Real quick timeout. Knock it back a few frames. Calypso usually involved with screwing up people's lives, sending them down these dark paths, correct?
He is.
Okay, you notice this yellow Ferrari here, or whatever it is, sports car. When it spins out, you'll notice, first off, not a lot of damage to it, like it's supernaturally possessed. Also, you see no license plate there. It's a blacked out license plate.
And it's worth pointing out, too, that the accident involved them hitting a motorcycle as well.
Oh, was it? I didn't even see
right
there. Is that a motorcycle?
I thought it was flying up in the air.
Oh, maybe that's what the dad was, maybe that was in the back of the truck. Maybe the dad was driving a truck with a motorcycle and he's like, oh, I tell you, boy, Grimm, we're going to have fun and let me touch your head. Oh, why wasn't I watching? Anyways. Mr. Grimm doesn't take it too well. Then he becomes that man there, crazy stunt driver who puts paints a skull on his face. Everyone remembers that Mr. Grimm was actually the Grim Reaper in the previous games. Not so much here. Remember, this Twisted Metal is not a sequel to anything. It's almost a reboot. They're kind of retelling stories and doing what they want to do with it. But one man's got ahead of the game. Go to the 131 second mark. We have a man in some red glasses yelling a bunch of religious fervor, stuff like, we're going to tear down this Tower of Sin while looking at clips of this thing. This is the Preacher. You don't get a great look at him here, but he popped up in other Twisted Metal games.
He did. He was in black, and the premise of him when he was in black was that he accidentally killed his whole congregation, and he believed it was because he'd been possessed by a demon. But if you completed Twisted Metal Black with him, Calypso actually showed him that there was never any demon. He wasn't even trying to do an exorcism, which is what he thought. He was actually doing a baptism, and he just killed everyone because he's crazy. In which case, at the very end of Twisted Metal Black, he killed himself.
Oh, okay.
So how he's in this game.
Again, reboot. Reboot. It's 2011. Everything old is new again. I can't wait for the 18-2. But getting ahead of ourselves. You dial it back here when he's saying all the stuff that we're going to tear down this Tower of Sin. If you watch the reflection in his glasses, Calypso Industries, which is built by everybody else's sadness, goes back to just a normal clock tower. So
It
maybe
could be that Calypso's been around for forever doing this.
Yeah, maybe though this is, in the Preacher's eye though, he's gonna get these guys together to stop him once and for all, which would undo all the horrible things, and Mr. Grimm's dad can finally touch his head.
Yes.
Okay, good. That's what we want. If you want to jump down to some gameplay though, there are even though there's these 3 story modes, there's multiple factions to play as in multiplayer. There's the Clown faction led by Sweet Tooth. You want to jump to the 37-second mark. We'll see Sweet Tooth hanging out with some of his bros, fighting some bad guys here in the truck. But right there, not Sweet Tooth hanging out the side. You have other people you can play with who you're going to be part of. You jump to the 40-second mark. We see the Dollface faction. Here we go, a little bit further. There we go, another woman popping out, not Dollface. That's great. And if you jump to the 116 mark, you'll see the Preacher's in motion. Preacher driving a car, and one of his Preacher bros just hanging out saying, hey, what's up, man? Let's go throw some caskets out of this car. This will be fun.
Are the factions involved in team multiplayer?
Yeah, that's where it comes down to. When you get into team multiplayer, stuff like Nuke, where you have to go capture the other team's leader and drag them around and use them as a launch, that's where the factions really play into it. But it's important to point out, too, that this time around, which is different for Twisted Metal, any character can get into any car. So Sweet Tooth isn't just going to be in the ice cream truck. Mr. Grimm doesn't just have to be on his motorcycle, which is actually interesting. If you jump over to the 38-second mark, we'll see clowns are in a car other than the ice cream truck. There you go, one hanging out of this car. This is actually the car that the Dollface clan was hanging out of in the next frame. And then if you jump to the 57-second mark, we see Dollface in the Juggernaut. This is this giant semi-truck that gets to shoot stuff out. What's cool about this one, Anthony, and I really enjoyed playing it right, is that when on the sides that kick up, you spit out mines and blow people up that way. It's got a Gatling gun at the top. If you jump to the 122 mark, you can see that. Gatling gun for people to use and shoot people and kill them and be all bad.
What's the point of the Juggernaut?
The Juggernaut, what you can do is drive 2 cars into the back of it, into the semi-portion, and let the Juggernaut, which can take a lot of damage, drive them to wherever the objective is or whatever you want to do. That way, whoever's in the back of the truck can get up on this turret gun and shoot stuff down. Similarly, there's a helicopter now. Twisted Metal this time has flying cars for the first time, or flying vehicles, I guess, for the first time. 113-second mark. This is the helicopter. This is the Talon. What's cool about the Talon ride is it's got this magnet underneath it that when you're flying, you can pick up your own team, fly into whatever objective you want, or pick up opponents and take them as high as you can and drop them to their death. And if you're the opponent, there's a minigame button to tap and try to get out of it. The 114-second mark, you got this ramp. This is in Black Rock Arena, and this is interesting because it's actually inspired by the Suicide Slide in Twisted Metal 2. Basically, there's these crazy jumps all the time to get onto this suspended rampway, and then below it are these pits of fire and lava that'll kill your car if you drive on them too long. And also the roadway beneath it is constantly changing. It's always shifting, keeping you on your toes. 118. This is a special chainsaw move. Right now, you get this chainsaw when you're on the bike, right? You can use it, you can throw it at people, blow them up, awesome. But if you pop a wheelie while you're holding it, you drag the chainsaw, it heats up and becomes the most damaging weapon in the game. You let this play, you're gonna see him hurl it at somebody, explode, and here it comes, boom. Anthony, you want to do that?
I want to do it so bad.
Yeah, I know, right? It's actually really cool. There's a whole bunch of new stuff like that, a whole bunch of new, vehicle-specific kind of things you do, right? We jump to the 124 mark. We have some exterminator missiles. One of the cars you're driving around is basically like this exterminator van. Here's the missile hitting. You drive it back. You see this guy in the back with a little net. He's trying to catch the mouse. That's like the mouse that sits on top. He's like the mascot.
And so you fire it.
Exactly. Special attack. You get to go in and stuff. Keep checking IGN.com as we get closer to Twisted Metal's October release date.